Hi students, welcome to the session where we are going to discuss about how to write a complaint letter. Now, why do we write this complaint letter? Now, how many times has it happened that you bought a product and it turned out to be defective? Or how many times did you avail a public service and were left dissatisfied? Or did you ever notice any problematic practice taking place at a public place? What do you do in such situations? So the most common way to address such problems and to make sure that your voice is raised or heard is to write a letter to the concerned authorities. Sometimes the associated organization may not be aware of the troublesome issues which make it the crying need of time to report them. So this complaint letter is a type of letter written to address any type of wrongdoing, offense, grievance, resentment arising out of a product, service, etc. or to raise your concern about unfair things and seek a productive outcome. So now let's see how to go about with this letter. Now you will get this letter in your exams and you will be marked for your format, content and expression, where expression includes your grammatical errors and vocabulary. Now there is a particular format for writing this letter. Let's see how it is. Yes, for writing the complaint letter, first thing is your sender's address. Now the sender's address to be written first, that is the person who is writing the letter. It is usually put on the top left hand corner of your page, that is towards the margin. And next comes your date. That is the sender's address is followed by the date just below it. And this is the date at which the letter is being written. So it should be written in expanded form only. That is 2nd December 2019 or 4th July 2020, etc. Next is the receiver's address. Now, whether to write to above the address depends on the writer's preference, but make sure you write the name and the position of the person. That is the designation, not the name of the receiving official as the first line of the address. That is very important, but it is better not to use to. And next comes the subject. Subject is, we'll have to sum up the purpose for writing this letter in one line. And this helps the receiver to focus on the subject of the letter in just one glance. And it is very important to underline the subject. And next one is your salutation. Salutations are nothing but the way you greet the person you are addressing the letter to. So that is very important. And next is the body of the letter. This is the main content of the letter. It is divided into 3 paras. And the tone of the content should be very formal. And you will have to not to use any offensive language. Another point to be kept in mind is that the letter should be concise and to the point. And should be very respectful and considerate in your language. And it should include the first para, the introduction, that is to provide the details about the product or service that is mentioned in the subject. The complaint, which bears the complaint, which will include the date, location and the specifications about the item. And next is you'll have to provide the details as to the cost. This may include the malfunctioning or billing issues, whatever. What is the problem? What is the complaint? And you'll have to indicate how you would like to resolve your problem. Provide specifics about what you're going to seek, and indicate what you are including the copies of transaction, that is the enclosures, and you'll have to indicate that you look forward to their reply within a specific time period. This all will be included in the 3rd para, when you're expecting their reply, and you can indicate that they can contact you about the issue and you'll have to provide your contact details in the last para. And next is the complimentary clause. Complimentary clause is at the end of the letter. We write a complimentary clause and the words using yours faithfully or yours sincerely. And next thing is the sender's name. That is the person who is going to send this, who is going to write this letter. His name and his designation, if any. Now you might be wondering how to go about with this letter, how to start this letter in the first para, or how to continue and how to close. Now I have few lines how to start this letter formally. Let's discuss about that. How to begin your letter. First you can write, unfortunately your product has not performed well. You can use these lines in your first para. And second is, to my dismay, I have not received the product I had ordered. And third is, I would like to draw your attention, and you can continue. So these are few lines how you can go about, how can begin your para. That is, you can use these lines in your first para. And how to continue. How to go about with the second para. You have few lines. I would appreciate if you replace or lend a replacement. That is, you are seeking a solution for your problem. That should be written in the second para, where you can start like this. Or the second one is, this is resulting in many problems, and you can continue. Third is, I regret to ask or remind, and you can continue. Next is, this has caused much inconvenience, and you can continue. So these are 4 lines where you can continue your letter in the second para. And now how to conclude this letter. How to go about with the third para. How to close the letter. You can use the sentence, I look forward to your reply and the solution to the problem. So the first is, I told I look forward to your reply and the solution to the problem. The second one is, you can contact me through my address or my contact number. And this line could be used in your third para. And next is, I hope my complaint reaches you soon. And the fourth one is, your quick actions will be appreciated. So these are few lines which can be used and where the evaluator will be impressed by reading them. And a sample question, let's see. Write a letter to Messrs. HMT Corporation Chandigarh complaining that the wristwatch you recently bought from them does not function properly and ask for replacement. You are Deepak Gupta, 450 Sector 20 Chandigarh. So this is going to be your from address, that is 450 Sector 20 Chandigarh is going to be your from address, and then the date in expanded form, March 1st, March 2018, and then the to address, I told you all, it's going to tell you the company's name and then which division it is, and if the designation is given, please mention the designation. For example, if it is manager, mention it the manager, and then Messrs. HMT Corporation, Customer Complaint Division, Chandigarh. So it depends upon the question, and then the subject, that is about what is the complaint. And then salutation, you have your content on February 27, 2018. I bought a Titan watch model. You'll have to write the model and worth rupees for how much you have bought it from your store. So unfortunately, your product has not performed well and the watch doesn't work half the time despite several attempts at changing its battery. I am highly disappointed because such act of neglect is not expected from such a renowned store. To resolve the problem, I would appreciate you changing the watch with a new fully functioning model. That is, what is the solution you are seeking for this problem is mentioned here. I have the receipt intact. Enclosed are the copies of receipt along with the guarantee card. So what have you enclosed? That should be mentioned here, and it should also be mentioned in your at the end or towards the end of this letter. Now the third is, I look forward to your reply and its resolution to my problem and will wait until a week before seeking help from a customer protection agency. Please contact me at the above address or by phone at so and so. So yours sincerely, the complimentary close, Deepti or Deepak Gupta, whatever it is, any one name to be written here, and then the enclosure which you have mentioned inside the letter. 1, 2. First is the receipt which you have mentioned and the guarantee card, the second one which you have mentioned inside the letter. So this is how you will have to go about with this letter. Now, before I conclude this session, I would like to give you all a few important tips for writing this letter. Now, although the motive of your complaint letter is to vent out your grievance and frustration, it is imperative that you should use a tone which is very polite and simple. And try to be formal and avoid using any offensive and disrespectful words. And make sure that you introduce yourself properly. The purpose of writing should be very loud and clear. And do not deviate from the topic and you'll have to write only to the point. And make sure you adhere to the format as it carries marks, and also the content and the grammatical expression, which includes vocabulary and grammatical errors. And then you'll have to the presentation, you'll have to present the letter very well, as it is very important. And the word limit also plays a major role, because you'll have to stick on to the word limit which is mentioned in the question, and if it is not mentioned, please stick on to 150 words or 200. Don't exceed that, because you might not have time to write the other questions. So it will be better to mention the word limit towards the end, and don't keep counting the words in your letter, because you know your handwriting and you can and you know how many words fit into a sentence. So you can just count the number of lines and see to it and get to know how many words have you written. So these are the important points and the format and content which we have discussed. So hope you will follow and you would have understood how to write this letter, children. Have a great day. Thank you.